Hey there.
Oh, they're on speakers. Now, I think you hear me, right?
Yeah, I hear you.
Perfect. Let's see who joined today. Let's wait a minute.
Steve apologizes. He has a conflict.
Okay. Apologize granted. So I'm not sure who we're expecting. It would be good to see Eric here, actually. I haven't seen him for a while.
And Oleg.
Yeah, Oleg as well, yeah, sure. Unless you have the HackMD document, the link is there. Andrea is still on holiday, I believe, until tomorrow. I think we will be back tomorrow.
Has anybody heard anything about new management at the CDF?
I've heard some rumors, but I'm not sure if I'm allowed to talk about it.
Oh, well, at least rumors means there's some movement. You don't have to talk about it if you don't need to. Movement is all I'm interested in.
I don't think there is any major such changes. Well, I just heard one thing, maybe. I'm not sure if that's what you're after, but
Well, we're in need of it.
hey, Eric, welcome.
Hello.
Hello. So I guess we can get started. Should I share my screen, maybe? So you can see what I see. Okay, I'm sharing, yeah. So the agenda for today, I think we will talk quite a lot about the coming meetups and conferences, different ideas around those and what's to be done. We first look into the actions, and then if we have time, we will talk about whatever updates might be from other SIGs and pull requests for issues if we have time to go there. So when it comes to actions from previous meetings, Andrea should ask Roxanne to announce the webinar, which is this Wednesday, and Roxanne accepted to announce it, but now I know that Roxanne is off due to sickness, and I've reached out to Michelle instead today, just recently. So I'm probably quite late out for this. I'm not sure what channels she would announce it on, but I gave it to her to.
I think I saw it come out because I'm pretty sure I saw it. Somebody pushed it out.
I've added it to the Slack channel a few weeks ago, maybe 1 or 2 weeks
I think
ago.
I saw an email come through on it though.
To what mail list? Not to the SIG Events mail list.
Let me see if I can find it. I get so many emails. I know that. What is the date? It's the 27th.
The 27th, yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Well, I would have responded to it, but I just remember something coming through on it. Maybe it came through on Meetup. Is that possible?
Could it be so that did you attend some TOC meeting maybe if Oleg talked about it there maybe or something?
No, it was something that
Or
I
maybe-
responded to in an email.
Oh, okay. No, I don't know. I don't remember seeing such. Anyway, so we had an action on ourselves, all of us.
Oh, you know what? I'm
reach out to-
sorry. I'm thinking about the one that came through for tomorrow. Andreas Grabner's doing a Captain on
Captain,
tomorrow. That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, great. I saw that one as well. Yep. That's also an interesting one. Yeah. So we had an action to reach out to companies and organizations that could be interested to join this webinar. I haven't done that much myself, unfortunately. I actually think of some people I might reach out to if they're interested. But please, if you have any ideas, share the word about the upcoming webinar this Wednesday. I guess we.
Okay.
And then I had an action on myself to reach out to Kara from last meeting to see what's left before we can actually officially launch the SIG Events project. We talked about that earlier. If we and the proposal then was to launch it sometime during April, so it doesn't conflict with the SIG Events Con and the CDCon. But that's quite late now, and Kara has taken this on, and she is talking to some guy Chris about this. And the idea seems to be now to announce it on CDCon. But now it seems that they've got it the other way around. So I guess it might be announced on SIG Events Con, but at least at some of these conferences, either SIG Events Con, which is then co-located to KubeCon, or the CDCon. I mean, should be then together with one of those conferences, it seems now. There is some work to do on this public relations document still. And I've asked Kara about what needs to be done there. It's not really clear yet. I saw we have a couple of quotes in the document now. We can maybe open it up later and look at it when we come to that agenda for it. So anyway, I reached out to her, so it's the ball is rolling there, I would say.
Emil, would you put the doc in the chat? Or you probably did,
yeah,
and I haven't.
It's actually in the agenda later here, so we
Yeah.
can see it soon. Yeah. Yeah, so that's about the actions. So there's no really outstanding action except this one, that we should reach out to our organizations or different organizations that we have contact with. Then we have the meetup this Wednesday. I hope still that everything is as it is supposed to be set up there, and that Andrea and Eric are prepared to present. Eric,
Yes.
do you have anything? Yeah.
I actually pushed an updated version of the presentation from FOSDEM earlier today. Still need to practice it a little bit, but I had a question there. Like, are there any recent events that we should highlight in that presentation? Because otherwise, I think it's pretty decent as it was. The main thing that has happened that was part of the presentation before is that when we presented it first time, the logo wasn't final, but now it is. So, I mean, other than that, it's pretty much the same. That HTML file is out of date, unfortunately, so you won't be able to see much there.
So,
but yeah.
Does it make sense to look at the markdown or no?
Not really. It's just very long and a lot of details.
Yeah, okay.
But it's pretty much the same as last time or as FOSDEM. Yeah. But are there any key takeaways that are different now than what we had before? Actually, you could open that. If you open the markdown file and scroll to the very end of the file, just the key takeaways that we want to bring with us, if there's anything there that is different. It should be at the very end, I hope.
There, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess one thing would be that we want to hear from you. That should probably point somewhere else. I'm not sure if we have like a good contact page or something like that. I think it's pretty decent, but this one contains that form, the survey, that I'm not sure if we still want to have. Other than that, this is probably quite good. We could just push an update this file, but I guess it, yeah.
I guess we don't really publish any good place where we any contact information. Do we have a good such place? I'm not sure. What does it say on the main page for the spec, for example? I don't think we have any contacts there, do we?
There's some scattered information in the spec page.
Well, sorry, no, there was actually something. Get in touch here. This one. Communication. Yeah, so we have this more or less. That's where they can reach out. And I guess these are still valid. This one is not much used, but we haven't added much there recently, but of course it can still be used.
But okay, then I can point here at least. That's good.
Yeah, and that's the same link as we have on the top page for the GitHub organization. With Get in touch. So point there. I think that's at least a point somewhere in there.
Yeah, sounds good.
We also have a web page.
Yeah, that I will add a link to as well towards the end somewhere, I think.
Maybe that didn't exist. That's right. So that didn't exist, right, when FOSDEM was held?
That is true, I believe, yes.
So this is a good place as well.
Where does the community link in the top right lead to? Ah, perfect. Oh. This is even better. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Excellent.
Good. I forgot about this one. That's great.
But good. Then I will fix that. One issue that I still have is, so the unfortunate way this presentation is set up is that me and Andrea are switching slides a lot. And since we will be in different sites, that will be a problem. My current best thinking, because I've been searching all over the place for a solution for this, my current best thinking is that we screen share both in Bevy and in Zoom, and we use the Zoom remote control feature to actually forward the slides. I'm just hoping we can do that without having a lot of Zoom like banners and stuff showing up in Bevy, but because it will be annoying, or it will be almost impossible to have like, oh, can you switch to the next slide, please? Because we will end up saying that once every 2 seconds.
Yeah. So you will set up a private Zoom call between you two then, or
yes,
and then screen share that call. Okay.
So I'm not understanding. So what's the issue then?
So we have something like 100 slides in this, and it's like almost animated to some extent, and only one person can share unless we switch the sharing back and forth, which would be a solution, but I think it would be quite annoying for the audience.
Yeah.
So ideally, what I would like to have is over the web remote, but I can't find that exists. It exists in things like what's it called, TeamViewer and things like that, but that's overkill for what we want to do. So yeah, I'm still struggling to find a good solution there. If anyone knows of something I can install on my computer so that Andrea can click next on a web page and that causes the slide to forward on my machine, I would be super happy to use that, but I just can't find that type of solution. There's tons of them if you're on the same Wi-Fi, but nothing over the web that I can see.
There's nothing that allows you to take over his machine?
Not in Bevy. In Zoom, that's possible, but not in Bevy. So hence my thought that maybe we can have a Zoom call at the same time somehow. However that would work.
I guess you could try that, and then if it doesn't work, you can fall back to switch presenters.
Yes.
I just wish you good luck.
Thank you.
On that. Yeah. So I guess the presentation will be like 20 minutes, half an hour, something like that.
Yeah, I think it was roughly 20 minutes when we held it at FOSDEM, so it should be around that.
Yeah, and then after that we'll have an open discussion, and we don't have really an agenda for that open discussions. I guess everyone joining the meeting can put their questions and we try to answer.
Yeah.
I mean, it will not be a formal panel or anything like that this time. So
Should we present ourselves in more details? Because obviously me and Andrea will present ourselves as part of the presentation, but should there be like some little introduction thing before we kick off the presentation?
Yeah, maybe that's a good idea. Who should then present themselves? Everyone, should everyone on the meeting, or just some few of us, and then who?
Maybe if it's 10 people in the meeting, we can ask every person to spend at most 30 seconds introducing themselves, maybe. But if it's 50 people in the meeting, then we'll have to just restrict to the people who are sort of SIG Events members or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, let's see. I think I can find I should have an edit button for this, don't I? Yeah, here. Oh, I can see view attendees. Yeah, I was able to see what attendees we have today registered for the meetup. It's not too many, I know, but at least we have some. So 8 people have so far RSVP'd.
But if it's 8, then we can do around the table, I think.
And we have 2 with the same names. I guess it's the same Andreas Bremner from Captain, right?
Yeah.
Planet Race. Just signing up with 2 different mail addresses. We have Brad, we have David, Eric, Leora, Oleg, Tracy. Matthias, you won't join, or?
I'm thinking of that. I'm intending to join. I just haven't RSVP'd.
Okay, that's fine. You're welcome to do so whenever. It should be open to be to RSVP until the end of the meeting, actually. So I hope it works. And
I'm guessing Emil, you and Andrea will be added to, or you're not in this list, but you will be attending as well, I assume.
Yeah, you're right. So as organizer, I'm apparently not automatically added. So maybe I need to RSVP myself as well then. That's it. Yeah, Andrea, I guess, wasn't maybe there when we created it. He was still working. Oh, strange. Anyway, so it seems not too many will come, unfortunately. And
but I see this as good practice for all the conferences and stuff going forward. So it's always nice.
Yeah. And of course it will be recorded, so it might be an interesting discussion anyway to publish then afterwards. We'll see. We'll see what use cases come up. Yeah. Okay, so anything else regarding that meetup this Wednesday? No? Okay. Then we're done with that. I didn't really note anything yet. I don't think there was anything outstanding to note really.
No.
So I just added this and as an extra thing, SIG Events panel. I know, Tracy, we had this idea some time ago, and you created a document for it, where we brainstormed how we could have set up a formal panel, rather, for SIG Events. I guess that was before we decided to have it as a webinar/meetup with a more undecided agenda, right? But we could still set something up like this as well. I think, though, that of course we have other conferences coming up, so I'm not sure to be how we could attract people to such a panel discussion when we anyway will have it during SIG Events Con, right? So we'll have a panel there in the end, not specifically with just SIG Events people, but anyway, there will be a panel there. So I guess we can keep this idea maybe for the autumn or something like that.
Sure. So there's going to be a panel at, is there going to be a CD Events panel at CDCon?
At SIG Events Con in KubeCon. Let's see.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's shown here, but I think the idea was to end the day, the SIG Events Con day, with a panel.
Yeah, I remember seeing something like a CDF SIG panel or something like that towards the end.
Do you know if any of that's going to
Yeah.
get recorded?
Let's see here. See this. I hope that will be recorded. It's a bit unclear actually. I saw some communication saying that if we want any video utilities, we need to set it up ourselves. And also for the remote attendees for some reason. So, I mean, it should be possible to attend virtually. Or maybe that was for SIG Events Day. No, I think it was for SIG Events Con. So it's a bit unclear. I'm not sure. Maybe Andrea has more information when he's back. He might have some information in his mailbox.
Okay.
Um,
I'm just curious if that's something that maybe we don't have to do another panel if we can just, you know, really push the recording of it out.
Sure. So this panel will contain people from SIG Interop and from Software Supply Chain, and they will talk about interoperability and event-related tasks, I guess. I think that Andrea will actually host this panel, or yeah, I think so. So what questions that will be brought up there, I don't really know now. Maybe there is something seen here in the panel. Let's see. Page content brainstorming. Oh, so I don't really have the latest information there, I think, on what exactly will be discussed on the panel. But anyway, I think for this specific, let's see, where did I go about? SIG Events panel. I think we can something like that. So we can revisit that idea, and we keep the document, I think, Tracy, so we can come back to it later.
Okay.
But we
yeah,
don't
no
do anything
problem.
more about it right now.
Yep.
Anyway,
Absolutely no problem with me.
sounds good. So then the SIG Events Con planning, I already opened that. Let's see where that went. It was not that, of course.
Second link on the left.
This one, right? Yes. So unfortunately, I'm not really up to date on the content here. This is mainly prepared by Andrea. So I'm not sure what we really can do about it right now. I saw that the seats are actually full already. I saw in the Slack channel. I haven't secured my own seat yet. I hope I can still fit somehow. Because I'm expected to give a presentation at least, so I hope I can at least come in and give a presentation somehow. And still, I don't really know if I don't know if I can join in person or not. I still hope I can, but it's not clear. It's just 3 weeks away now, so it needs to be cleared out soon, or cleared soon. Yeah, I can't really say much. I mean, it's no use just browsing this together, I think.
I think
But I
what
think
might
Andrea,
be good, or maybe Andrea will do that, but just to reach out to everyone who we have a scheduled talk with to make sure that they are still on board, so to say.
I'm pretty sure that Andrea will do that when he's back tomorrow. So we can note it, of course, here.
And I will remind you, Emil, to put a bio in there if you're a speaker.
Oh, I should, yes, correct. Good comment. Any questions on that on KubeCon? Will you come, by the way? Who of you will come? Will you come,
I will
Tracy?
be there.
You'll be there. Tracy, you won't come, will you?
No, I'm not coming.
Spain? No. And Matthias, you don't think you're coming either? Or?
No, company profiles.
Yes.
It's been delayed so
Yeah.
long, so for now I'm skipping.
Yep. I still have a slight hope. Let's see what happens with that hope. Okay, that's all for the SIG Events Con then. Then we have the SIG Events Day a month later in Texas, and that will be virtual as well as physical, as I understood it at least. And there is a schedule for that set up now. Or well, schedule. It's one entry for it. Here. Yes. So it doesn't say much about the actual content during this day, but at least the time is set. So it's a Friday morning in the States and afternoon or evening actually in Sweden and Europe. So it will be kind of late for us, but that's fine. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say on that either. And I don't think any one of us will come there, will we? Tracy, you won't come to Texas, won't you? Will you?
I'm not,
No.
you know, I put up a pretty big, I fussed about that whole thing. But no, they don't, Ortelius didn't get a single presentation. I was actually really, really disappointed in the lineup that they did for CDCon. Tecton had 2, Spinnaker had 2. Jenkins just got Oleg's roadmap. Shipwright got 1, and Screwdriver and Ortelius got 0. It's insane. I mean, I have bitched up a storm. I have to admit, I did. I made sure that everybody, I mean, you know, our open source community said, well, wow, maybe they don't love us. Maybe we should switch to a different foundation, which I don't blame them. You know, I don't blame them a bit. So no, there is absolutely no reason for me to go to CDCon this year, which is heartbreaking, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
There's nothing there to do except hear very generic talks.
It's a lot of keynotes and then generic talks, yeah, from different companies and still to be announced, a few of them.
Yeah, so, and they're still struggling. Like Oleg, I don't think can get a visa to get over here, unfortunately, because of his Russian status.
Yeah, I know. Here it says
so that I have no idea what they're doing with CDCon. It's this close, you know, it's a month away basically, and I have no clue what they're doing. All I know is I've complained big time and said, you've got all these to be announced keynotes and stuff. Put some topics in there. I don't think they even have, they need 800 people, and I think they have left somewhere around 50 people registered for it.
Whoa.
Well, they're just competing against every other generic DevOps conference. They're not embracing their committers.
Right.
It would be like a JFrog going and not doing a single presentation around any of their products when their users come to learn about the products.
Yeah.
You know, so it's weird. It's a mess to be, in my opinion. It is it's unfortunate that we don't have management right now that we can say, well, somebody needs to step in and fix this.
Yeah. We hope that the managers will be there soon.
Soon, yeah. So no, the answer is I have no good reason to go. There's there's just nothing there's nothing to go to. And I pushed. I said, hey, if you let me do something around Ortelius or SIG events, and I'll be there if you have an opening.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Next week. Yeah. So we have the SIG Events Community Summit, which is what it's called there, then on the Friday. So that's 2 days afterwards, more or less. And I guess some of us then will attend there virtually at least. We'll see what the schedule there will be. So I don't know if I think that Andrea had some pre-ideas on the schedule there as well, or on the content of that. But I'm not up to date on that either. I haven't seen another link for it, so I don't really have it handy anyway. So we'll see. But it's still some weeks away. Some of us will meet in KubeCon anyway, or SIG Events Con.
I think you're going to have more fun at that one than that you will in Texas.
We'll see. Yeah, and then the next subject is then the setting up or the launch of the actual SIG Events project. We still have the public relations document, which hasn't been updated much lately. We have reached out to some people to provide quotes. I don't know, how is it, Eric? Did you provide a quote from?
I can feel my pulse rising here. I have a feeling that
Yes.
I didn't. No, I didn't.
No, I didn't.
Okay, I need to figure out a better way to set a reminder for myself. I will do that right now.
We have this reminder here, but maybe not
Yeah,
enough.
exactly.
Yeah. So I added this actually 2 weeks ago on our last SIG meeting. So if you're able to, please add it.
Yes.
It will be well accepted. This one about fidelity, I actually tried to reach out to Jamie for a presentation, but I haven't really got in contact with him, so I can't really say how to make this happen. Does anyone here has any contact with someone in Fidelity who could provide a quote there? Because I have no other contact names there. So no, unfortunately not. I hope that Andrea will be able to provide a quote for IBM now when he's soon back, and Alois Rate Power maybe for Dynatrace.
Yeah.
I see that Oleg has written this from CDF Talk at least. So we have some quotes. Yeah, we have one from Ericsson and one from.
Did you ask JFrog? Have you asked JFrog?
No, I haven't. I don't know who to ask.
You know what, Steve Chin. Ask Steve Chin. He'll do it.
Oh. Oops. How is it? Chin like this?
Yep.
Or how is it spelled? Yeah.
That's correct.
Perfect. Let's see if we can.
I can ask him if you want to send me what you need. Where is it? I got to jump really quick. I got another call I have to do, but SIG Events marketing plan. Let me just shoot it out to him. Can I share this link with him?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay.
Thanks. Okay, apart from that, I don't really know. I think the rest is more or less there. So it's up to Karen now to take care of the process, I think, and also she had contact with this guy, Chris Anisik, who is I think a technical writer or something like that for CD Foundation, and he will help out there as well. Okay, that's about that. Any other comments, by the way, regarding conferences or the project launch?
Eric and Andrea will be talking at CityCon, but that we probably know.
Yeah, it will be pretty much the same presentation, I think, as for the meetup on Wednesday.
Right.
We will probably update it a bit.
Let's see. Of course, we can maybe. Can we find it?
Yeah, you can just search for
Frittori.
Yeah.
There we have it.
Yeah, it's actually, yeah, now that not remembering everything correctly. This is actually not entirely the same talk as we will talk about on Wednesday. This is more connected to the DORA metrics, which is the proof of concept that Andrea has worked on. Matthias and I have commented on. You as well, Emil, I know.
Hey guys, I gotta jump because I have another call, but I can't share that document. I'm gonna put Steve Chin's email in the chat so you can just.
I can notify him through that.
He will. You know, he's the chair. He's the chair of the board. He will be happy to do it. I'm sure. I have faith. Oops.
Thanks.
There he is. He's stevec@jfrog.com.
Yeah, thank you. I will add it.
All right. And I will speak to you guys next time.
Yeah.
See ya.
Okay.
Nice seeing you.
Right, bye.
Have a
You
good time.
too. Bye.
Bye. So, I'm not sure if this works, but anyway, maybe we can skip the end of it, whatever. If it works this way. Yeah, please we end up there. Good. So, we have recorded that link as well. Yeah, now I should just add Steve's mail address here as well. Now when I got it.
Shouldn't you write some comment on what he is supposed to do and
Why assign him?
Yeah.
I could that. Maybe Tracy Reagan. Which understands what that is. Good comment. So, that was a signing. This isn't really a sign then. Maybe we should. I can't edit that one. No? Cannot. Could I edit this and make it an assignment? Why is this different? No, I couldn't. Okay, so no one has any contact to Jamie Flower or Fidelity, so I guess that won't happen then. Unfortunately. Okay, let's move on. Updates from other SIGs. I don't really have anything valuable, I think, to bring up. I haven't been to any late other SIGs. I missed both SIG drop and supply chain last time.
I think I remember seeing that Anne-Marie merged her mega stages commit, or maybe that was wrong.
No, that's correct. One of them, I think. There are two different.
Right.
I think only one was merged. I'm not sure which one it was now. Interoperability. And I think she also updated a comment on an issue in our own repository based on that. Let's see. Oh, no open anymore. Okay, so then it seems both have been. Let's see, where are we? Signature.
I can see the proposal thing further down.
Yeah, this pipeline steps proposal, it was merged 3 days ago. And where is the other one?
Further down, almost the end of the screen.
Yeah, update initial proposal. Oh, maybe that was, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
No, there were. Okay, there. Yeah. Okay, so both are merged actually. Pipeline step and pipeline stages. Okay, yeah. And we have in, let's see, SIG events. Or is it in SIG events? I think it is in SIG events. No. Then it's in SIG events. Oops. That was not the correct link. Spec issues, of course. This one, taking advantage, this one, this. So this one was recently commented, yeah, when these were merged. So we probably should relate to this somehow now. And we should either just bring those concepts in, or if we don't want them, we should of course provide updates or proposals to update in SIG interop repo.
I think we're quite aligned. She was reading this event vocabulary document, which is rather old. So I would say this issue can be, I think this issue can be closed, but that's what's,
I
was hoping her to comment on it. Because she's referring to this old document that we had. If you click the vocabulary document there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is a very old one. So are we up to date, I think, with?
Yeah, that was what I was attending with my commenter, just to tell her to take a look at that one instead, because I couldn't find any issues with, because we have build, test, publish, and deploy, because we don't have that type of nomenclature that we did there.
But we do have things like build, for example, and that's of course the same. I guess, let's see. Oh, this is a very long document now.
Yeah, they probably need to split this some kind of way.
Yeah.
I think. My understanding was that she was complaining on the fact that we had we had another. We're using the old document we had. I think it was like release or something. I'm trying to remember as I'm talking. That's why I'm messing up. Because we have, deployed, created. There we have the pipeline runs and version control. We can see.
Did she talk about?
I think she was triggering on the fact that we used release, whereas we don't have that event nowadays. It was in the beginning. I think that it was before we actually were a SIG that we talked about that one.
No, that's an action. Yeah, I haven't looked into the actual result too much. What the result was. So therefore, I can't really say that we are aligned, but maybe you are then. So we have build queued, test case queued. A test
So
task
she's
has been queued.
saying, for example, you have build, test, and release events, and we don't have any
Yeah.
release events.
No, but we have test case events.
Yeah, we have
don't
build, test, publish, and deploy. So we have the events.
Yeah, we have, I mean, for the build stage, we have something called build queued, build started, build finished. But then for the test stage, we currently have test case started, queued, test case started. And so we don't have test queued and test started and test finished.
No,
don't
but that
have
because
that
we're
level.
differing between suit and case.
Yeah, but if the stage should actually be called just test, we don't send an event saying that the test stage has started and the test stage has finished.
But will
We
we
say-
ever send an event for a stage? Isn't it for the steps we will do? Or
We
am
do send it for a
I?
build stage, don't we? I mean, this is what could also be called an activity. This is a build activity or a build. Or
But
do you
isn't
think
it
that
the steps that's we're sending it for?
depends on how
Because
you
this
see
is
it, I guess.
the I'm hoping I'm confusing with steps and stages now. Because stage was the overview, right?
Stage is the things that grouping multiple steps
Yeah.
together to some extent. And the build stage often contains, let's see.
So in
Where
my
are
head,
the-
we'll be sending multiple events per stage
Mm,
and per step at least.
Okay. Here's a build step as well, yeah.
Yeah.
So these are the steps. We have a build step and we have a test. Okay, so we have a test step as well.
Yeah.
And we talk about, again, then we talk about test case queued and test suite started and finished. So we cannot say that the test step has started. Or the test step
In
has
the
finished.
text, it says run a test suite. So technically, our test suite messages would be the corresponding things there.
Yeah, but then we call it test suite and not just tests.
Yes.
So it's a slight difference from
Yeah.
what is intended then, maybe.
But it feels like if you have test to denote test suite and test case, that's a good distinction, and that it's part of the test step.
It's natural to see it that way. I totally agree. It's just that should we use the exact same terms with everything, or should we just
No, I don't
more or
think
less
so.
the same?
Doesn't this boil back to the discussion of generic activity messages versus specific activity messages? Because I would be fine with having an activity message being sent when the tests start, and then inside that activity we send test suite and test case messages because they are sort of are inside the test activity. But that's just my how I would do it, because at least usually where I end up, a test activity can have more than one test suite. So sort of the test step or test phase or whatever you want to call it will end up running multiple test suites, even if it's the same activity. But then again, as we've discussed, now build has build has its own activity, which maybe is good or not good.
Yeah, it's probably the only activity that has its own activity. I mean, then because then we say that these are not actually activities; they are sub steps or something.
Yeah.
But this is then or is this considered a sub-step within an activity that happens to build something? It
could be. It could be that an activity starts and then does some stuff like downloads a bunch of code, and then you actually start the build itself. But I don't know where I would use such events, but that could be.
Doesn't make much sense to have a build queue then, maybe.
That is true. That is true.
If you have an external compiler that you need to call and things too or something.
Actually, that does happen, not to go too far into an anecdote, but we actually have a problem in automotive where we have compilers that we need to request a license for. So we can actually end up in a queue in the compiler because the compiler hasn't gotten its license yet. But that's not how we should design the spec. It's just something that
will you
happens.
know then when the compilation actually starts, or will you just
I
wait?
think that the compiler will emit some sort of event, so we can, or at least it will start spewing up stuff on the command line that we can pick up.
Okay, yeah. So anyway, I don't know if we need to dig into that in too much detail. I think, or Matthias, do you more or less think that we are aligned, or we can close it, or?
Yeah, that was, but I wanted to like check with Anne-Marie. So maybe we should explicitly ask her.
Should we ask her here then?
Yeah, as you were looking at an old document, do you still think this is valid, or can we close it?
I don't know if I should write that it is up to date. Is this too restricted to say, or?
No, it sounds like okay for me.
Let's see what Anne-Marie answers. It's probably maybe a bit hard to, well, not too hard to find the terms here, but of course we have the event names in bold here, but we have a lot of other text which might not all be in line with what she describes. But whenever we at least continuously now add more events, we should refer to this and relate to this this document and see if we agree or not when we set the names of our events. And try to not need to change too much. Okay, good. That's a good comment. So now
we could maybe use that as those tests as maybe I don't know, subject or main subject or something.
Subject for, what do you mean?
We talked about the event subjects. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, in another pull request, yeah.
Or think of it when we're designing it as we're in that discussion.
Right. So one outcome from this could be that everything that is defined as a step here should have their own event types in SIG events. That's one possible outcome, at least. I don't really know if it makes sense to have all these step names as event types, but as we have built today, why don't we have the rest as well?
At least a question is we should make a statement on, I think.
Yeah, I mean, most of these are verbs saying that something is actually happening or you do something. But this is more of a noun. It's not really producing bill of materials. It would have been more suitable for an event, at least. Policy is not either a verb.
That could be a comment.
Yeah, it could actually be that. So when we would like to use these as event types, we might put such comments, or we can do it earlier, of course, if we need it as well. Anyway, I think it's good that these are here now, so it's merged, and we can start working from here on these. Yeah. What else then? Should maybe bring that up here. If we discussed it. What happens with HackMD? Here. So that one was discussed. It's almost out of time now. Do you have any quick ones you would like to raise before we end the meeting?
Nothing from my side.
Eric, by the way, are you aware of the discussion in this one, that the subject ticket that Matthias referred to?
If it's the Andreas metrics thing, then I know that. Otherwise, I have not seen it.
It's this one. Introduce objects and subjects.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some consequences of that, I think, in the metrics discussion, but I haven't looked into this PR, so I should have a look at this.
So this is quite a substantial setting of the core structure of the event types, which is quite important to get, to some extent right.
But I will.
So please look into this.
Yeah, I added a calendar booking for looking into the PR documents. I will add another calendar booking for looking into this PR.
Yeah, perfect. That's the way of working. Okay. So I just added to the notes, so we have it there as well. Not because we have talked too much about it, but we mentioned it at least. Okay, so I guess we could say we're out of time now. Nice talking to you, as always.
Quick question. When should we be available, like in Bevy? So should we say that we meet up like 15 minutes ahead on Wednesday, or how do we do that?
Sounds like a good idea. Yeah, I for sure need to be there. I guess I need to open the meeting somehow, so I need to be there.
Yeah.
And you and Andrea should be there sometime in advance as well.
Yes,
so,
absolutely.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Perfect. So see you then on Wednesday.
Yeah. Have a great time, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.